Freedom Scientific, a Vispero brand.
Now for accessing the editor itself. So you can do this in a couple of ways. The editor is actually in the Home tab. So you could press Alt-H, go into the Home tab, and if you tabbed long enough, you'd find it. There's keyboard commands for doing that as well. But the quickest way to get to the editor is by pressing F7, which I'm going to do that now.
F7, Editor Insights, Editor Score 89% button.
Okay, so what is this editor score? Well, for documents that are 100 words or more, or that contain 100 words or more, the editor calculates a score based on the number and types of errors that it finds, as well as the length of your document. And of course, the higher the score, 100% is the highest. So the higher the score, the fewer errors it thinks that you may have. Now, if you just want to check for spelling and grammar, and you want to do this continuously, meaning, as you previously did when you press F7, where it gives you the first error and then you correct it and it goes on to the next and so forth, you just press space right here. That's all you have to do. F7 and then press the space bar. All right, so we have 89%. I'm going to press the space bar.
Space. Spelling, not a dictionary. Freedom, F-R-E-D-O-M. Suggestions, freedom, F-R-E-E-D-O-M. Spelling, not a dictionary. Freedom.
All right, so it read the misspelled word. It read a suggestion. It read the first suggestion. Now, right here, I want to show you a couple of JAWS commands that you can use. I love these commands. So you probably use insert F7 to bring up a list of links when you're on web pages or in documents. Well, if you're in the spelling and grammar checker, you can press it to do this.
Spelling, not a dictionary. Freedom, F-R-E-D-O-M. Suggestions, freedom, F-R-E-E-D-O-M.
So there, it just reads you the word that it sees as misspelled, and it reads you the first suggestion. So if you miss that information the first time, just remember, insert F7. Another one that you can use is to read in context. So it's going to read you the sentence. Insert C. This is also a JAWS command. Insert C, Charlie.
Thanks to your valuable suggestions and feedback, the Freedom Scientific User Education and Outreach Team introduced many enhancements in 2021.
All right, so yeah, it's insert C, not G. I started to say G. Insert C. So those are just a couple of JAWS commands that you can use. All right, so now let's correct this word. So I'll press Tab.
Read original sentence button.
Now, I heard it say the correct word, so I could actually press Alt-C to change it, but I don't want to do that right now because we want to check out these suggestions here.
Suggestions, freedom, similar to liberty, openness, autonomy, 1 of 3.
All right.
Split button.
So it said suggestions and it gave us references. It told us that words that this is similar to. Now, if you want to read this word, you can press Insert Numpad 5.
Freedom, comma, similar to colon, liberty, comma, openness, comma, autonomy, period, 1 of 3, period, split button.
And it reads all that information. To spell this word, we can press Insert and then we can hold down Insert and press Numpad 5 twice quickly.
F-R-E-E-D-O-M.
Okay, so it said 1 of 3 suggestions. We can down arrow to see what the others are.
Freedom, no reference information, 2 of 3.
All right.
Split button.
So there's another word. It didn't have any reference information.
Freedoms, similar to liberties, nonconformities, autonomies, 3 of 3. Split button.
All right, so let's go back up to freedom. I'm going to press up arrow.
Freedom, similar to liberty, openness, autonomy, 1 of 3.
And I am going to press enter to accept this suggestion.
Enter. Conciseness. More concise language would be clearer for your reader in order to original sentence edit.
All right, so now we're back to that grammar error what we had in the other document because they're the same document. So I will press the tab key.
Read original sentence button.
Press it again.
Suggestions 2, 1 of 1.
And I like that, so I'm going to press enter.
Enter. Spelling, not a dictionary, optelec, O-P-T-E-L-E-C. Suggestions, optelec, O.
All right, so we have a word here that is actually a proper noun, and it doesn't recognize it, but I know I've spelled it correctly. So I have 2 options here. I can either add it to my dictionary or I can ignore it. I could press I to ignore, or I could press, I think it's A. Let's tab and find out here.
Read original sentence, but suggestions, optal, no reference information, 2 of 3.
And it just, if you tab here, it just tabs it takes you through the different suggestions.
Optech. No. Other actions. Ignore once button. I.
So here we have the option of ignoring once with I,
Ignore all button. G.
ignore all with G. So if this word was in this document, let's say, 10 times, it would ignore all occurrences of it at once. We could just press letter G.
Add to dictionary button. A.
All right, add to dictionary. I'm going to go ahead and press A.
A. Spelling, not a dictionary. User, USSER. Suggestions, user, USER. Original sentence, read only.
All right, so we have another misspelled word. And now I want to show you what this split button is. So we're going to tab.
Read original sentence button. Suggestions, user, similar to, operator, consumer, worker, 1 of 1. Split button.
All right, so I know that's the correct word. So a split button has 2 halves that you can actually activate. The top half, when you press enter on this to actually select that change, it's activating the top half. Activating the bottom half will give you other options. So if I press Alt down arrow here, it's going to give me a menu, and I want to show you what you get here in this menu. So let's press Alt down arrow.
Open list box, menu, read aloud, L.
All right, so we can read aloud, which again would be a synthesized voice reading that sentence.
Spell out.
Or actually probably reading that word. Spell the word.
Change all, A.
Change all.
Add to autocorrect, R.
And add autocorrect. So let's go back up to change all.
Change all, A.
So let's say I had a word that I just always misspell, and I have it 5 times in a document. I can go to change all, and it will change every occurrence of that word, so I don't have to change it all 5 times. So I'm going to do that now with A.
A. Leaving menus, editor, spelling, not a dictionary, FS reader, FSREADER.
All right, so that's FS Reader, and that is a JAWS tool, JAWS feature. So I'm going to press I to ignore it.
Spelling, not a dictionary, TikTok, TIKTOK.
All right, I mentioned TikTok in this blog post, which is not spelled how you would probably normally spell TikTok. It has its own spelling. So I know I mentioned this twice, so I'm going to press the letter G to ignore all.
Spelling, not a dictionary, FS clipboard, FSCLIPBORD.
Again, this is another proper, this is another feature. So notice I'm just using the keyboard commands here because I know what they are, and I'm going to ignore this one too with the letter I.
I.
All right, and I think there is another.
Certification programs to now automatically.
Okay, so it is reading. There's a sentence here, and it wants us to correct this, so let's just tab.
Clarity, avoiding multiple words between two and the verb is best. Now automatically provide free electronic certificates. Read original sentence button.
All right, so it told me what the error was and why that considered it an error and how I could fix it.
Suggestions, provide free electronics.
All right, so I'm going to press enter on the suggestion.
Enter. Grammar, 1 punctuation mark is all that's needed. Needs, ... Suggestions, needs, NEEDS. Original sentence, read only, edit. We continue tailoring topics to meet your personal, educational, and professional needs.
All right, so I let it read that sentence because I wanted to see if it would read the comma and period at the end. I happened, because I made that mistake on purpose.
Profession.
So I can go to the end of this sentence.
Needs. EEDS, comma, period.
And I can automatically determine that that is what happened. And so let's change that.
Read original suggestions, needs, 1 of 2. Enter. Insights, editor score 99% button.
All right, so now
editor score, no issues found button.
It said 99%, and then it updated it, said no issues found. So I think we're still in the editor. Let's press tab.
Document statistics button.
And we have document statistics.
Give feedback to Microsoft. Tell us what you think about editor button.
And we have feedback.
Editor score, no issues found button.
And we have the editor score here.
Freedom Scientific, a Vispero brand. To stay up to date on upcoming webinars and training events, complete the sign-up form at freedomscientific.com/webinars. Thanks again for connecting with us.